So I want to take a look at alternative social media. The time is what currently, this was posted on March 9th, 2019, at least in my time zone. And basically what I want to do is take a look at alternative social media, because every time there's like every time one big name figure gets banned, there's always this rush, like, let's get back to using alternative social media. I'm continually amazed at how many people don't know about this, because like, again, the average person does not know about any of these, and I think that's important to remind them to realize that just because all of your friends do, not necessarily all of alt media, or not necessarily the average person knows about these. But what I want to do is just go through the traffic rankings, and I think that's the most accurate of all of the possible measurements I can do to see like how these websites are doing. Again, it's a very general measurement. It's not perfect, but I think it gives us a general, like a decent idea of what's happening. Of like, are these alternative social media companies really doing that well or not? Because again, like in the end, it all does come down to money. It comes down to traffic. Can these websites really get a following? Because we're looking at Facebook and Twitter and all the big YouTube, all the big ones, and they're doing great. They're doing fantastic. Like, they're continuing to do pretty great. I actually have them at the end here to look. But when it comes to these smaller sites, it's like I understand that at the very least they need to have enough users just to survive. At the very least, I hope they don't lose money, but they need to grow. Like, they need to continue to grow, or else it's just a small place for a small portion of the internet to hang out. We're gonna start here with Minds. This is Minds.com. If you're not aware of what Minds.com is, it is basically a Facebook alternative. It also has kind of like a crypto token built in that you can use to advertise for basically free as long as you're earning tokens for the site. So looking at this here, not too good. We can see the last 10 years here, and if I scroll down a little bit, this is the last 6 months. Last 6 months is a steady decline. Last 10 years, I don't know what that peak was. I'm trying to think of what happened then. That's not the Bitcoin spike. I believe the Bitcoin spike was a whole year before that. I think. Maybe it was maybe it was the end of 2017. Either way, it does, like, the Bitcoin spike does not seem to coincide with this. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't think that's when that happened. There was a huge drop since then, and overall it seems to be pretty steady throughout the beginning of 2018. Then it had a spike up, and now it's back down. So basically, the growth from the beginning of 2018 to 2019, 2.89 versus 3.15, so a little bit of a decrease. That's not good. And I'm saying that as someone that had a bit of money invested in Minds. Like, that's not a good thing that there's a drop here. So I am concerned about the future of Minds. They need to, at the very least, stay steady, and they're not doing that. For those that don't know, I'm using Rank 2 traffic here, and I'm using that for all of them, as well as Alexa. Rank 2 traffic is less, I've heard of everyone talk about Alexa, so I want to use Alexa because that's the one everyone says to use. But I think Rank 2 traffic gives me better measurements, at least more visible measurements, so that's why I'm using them as well. But yeah, here's the Alexa one. Alexa one shows a bit different. They go a bit further into 2019, where they show like a drop and then a bit of a steady increase, or a small increase there. But overall, like, again, it's a drop. It's not good. This is not good. I'm trying to look, and I guess this looks kind of similar, the two here. The last 6 months, like, looking at this compared to this, I don't know. For some reason, they look different. Again, I don't know how they're measuring it, but that's why I'm using both instead of just one. But still, this does not look that good. I mean, this one's showing a bit of an increase from the last year, at least almost a year. And this is more of a ranking. So I know this ranks it compared to other sites, whereas this one is, the rank 2 traffic is literally just like web traffic. Again, like, it's okay. It's decent, I guess, but we should be seeing an increase, and I don't see too much of that. So not too good for Minds. I would have hoped for better, especially considering, like, you need to grow. You need to grow as a company. But looking at Gab here, this is the next one where, looking at Gab, last 6 months, it's been a bit of a drop. However, again, I don't know why these two look so different. I'm trying to figure out why these two charts look so different. Traffic history for Gab.ai last 10 years. Traffic history for Gab.ai last 6 months. Why do these look so massively different? I can't understand this, even though it measures sessions. But looking at the last 10 years mark, they must have had like a huge bump up here. I don't know what that was. I'm trying to think of if there was any specific thing that happened beginning of August. And there's probably been loads of things, but my memory is also notoriously awful. But looking at it, like, again, not, I guess it's an increase. It is an increase over the last 2 years. We're looking at what, beginning of 2017, we'll say, was 2.67 million. Beginning of 2019 was 3.68. So that's, I mean, that is a jump. That is an increase. So that's good. And it seems to be like a hump here and there based on, I guess, every time it makes it in the news, every time someone's banned on the internet. I don't know. But something like that. So Gab does seem to be good in this graph. But again, we go down to this graph right here, and it's showing a steady decrease. So I'm trying to figure out, like, these two measurements do not look near as extreme. Do not look anything or even remotely similar. But we'll move on from there. And then the Alexa ranking shows kind of a same thing. Again, this is it says traffic ranks. I don't know how their measurement's any different, but overall, this actually, if anything, shows over the last year it's been pretty constant. There was a big hump, and then a decrease, and now it's pretty much the same as it was last time. But then we'll go into BitChute, which I find is interesting. Or I guess we're on the Alexa one first. The Alexa one, this one shows good. Even though it says down, I guess that's previous 3 months. So I get over the last 3 months, it dropped a little bit. But overall, like, looking in the past year here, BitChute seems to be doing the best. BitChute actually seems to be the most successful of the 3 we've done so far, which is coincidentally all of them. But then I look at this, the traffic history, or the rank 2 traffic. That's it. Again, like, the differences here, I don't really get that. But looking at this over the last 10 years, like, that, this is good. Look at this increase over the last year and a half or so. This is a gigantic increase. So I'm glad to see BitChute succeeding, because honestly, BitChute seems to be the most important one to me. I hope BitChute succeeds. I don't have any money of them in anything, so I kind of wanted mine to succeed for purely, like, profitable reasons. But the fact that BitChute is doing really well is a good sign. They're like, look at that incline there. Again, last 6 months, I don't know what this is. Someone explain it to me in the comments. I tried looking at this for about 20 minutes before I actually recorded this video, and I can't see where the difference is, or like what causes the difference in measurement here. But overall, like, this one looks really good. So good on BitChute. Just keep that in mind. And then the last one is PewTube, which there's PewTube for you. Didn't do very good. I mean, I had very, very, very low expectations for PewTube, to be honest. I put my videos on there, and they get the occasional view here and there, but I had very low expectations. And they just kind of vanished one day, and they're gone. So as unfortunate as that is, like, I'm not too worried about them. But then let's look at the mainstream ones. This is YouTube here over the last 10 years. For some reason, they give me YouTube for the last 10 years because maybe it's because it's one of the top sites. But like, look at that. YouTube's still doing fantastic. BitChute, honestly, is growing faster than YouTube if you look at how it's grown, or compared to what it was originally. Just percentage-wise, it's growing, which is fantastic. But YouTube's still doing good. And then we look at this one, and I guess there's so many people here that they just kind of mark it as a straight line because it's site ranking. This is 2. It's always been second. So yeah, there's not much to do there. It's just a straight line because it's always been the second most popular site ever. And then there's this, which Twitter history over the last 6 months. I could have swore Twitter was becoming less popular, but apparently it is, just like YouTube, becoming steadily more popular. Again, I thought the exact opposite, but as far as I know, again, it's measuring traffic history, so it's not like all of the dead accounts, the accounts that someone made and never used, like, those don't count anymore. It takes that out because they're not part of the traffic. So Twitter is, again, continuing to increase, and Twitter apparently went up and down a bunch in site ranking. But overall, it's like the site ranking is not too helpful when you're one of the top sites like this. And then we have Facebook.com. Did I do? Oh, yeah, Facebook over here. Facebook actually is on the decline, which is what I heard. I always heard that Facebook was on the decline because, younger people, I don't believe, are using Facebook as much, but older people are. I believe because Facebook, I mean, it seemed like the original purpose was to reunite with your friends, not to really use as a news feed or anything, which it kind of became. So Facebook is dropping a little bit, but it's always maintained its number 3 rank, so no big deal there. But I just want to get back to BitChute there. Like, BitChute, that is fantastic. But that's pretty much all this was just do a quick look through the different traffic rankings. And I can't remember if I said this at the beginning, but yes, this is ranking, Alexa is ranking web traffic in comparison. It's a rank, so it's ranking it in comparison to other sites out there. whereas the first one is really just traffic history. It's just individually measuring that one site. But yeah, so I I don't even know what the verdict is really, because mine's Gab, mine's not so much. Gab, a little bit of an increase we saw. Like if we were to trend this all as a whole over the last year and a half, it's a good increase. Yeah, I guess that's 2 years really, because yeah, over the last 2 years, bit of an increase, which is decent. And then BitChute, which seems to be doing quite good. So again, we got one that's not so good, one that's okay, and then one that's doing pretty good. So I suppose that's right in that respect. But again, remember, if you want to see this changed, if you're disappointed in this, like, remember to use it. Remember to use your alternative social media accounts. And if you just can't get yourself to use them, like, there's some things like Minds. I used to love using Minds. I used to use it more than any other social media network, and then now it's just kind of lost my interest, which I guess, like, that's just how it is, unfortunately. But no, this was interesting to go through. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. I know this isn't much of a video. We're just literally looking at rankings here. But I thought it'd be good just to glance at them quick and see what we got. And thanks for watching.